Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the table. Episode 14, going on 40.
Hello.
My name is Patrick Murray, and we have, as always, our superstar extension queen,
Stacey McGonagall. I really miss my soundboard. We will be reunited in November.
I know.
And then I will travel with her moving forward. But this is what we have.
I mean, definitely I'll have some things that I'd like to add to the mix as much as I have loved.
Right, of course.
Like,
although, can I say, I feel like Danny Pellegrino might listen to the pod because he's really been upping his sound bites lately. And I just want to say, Danny, we're huge fans and you always have a seat at our table.
Our impact is felt.
I think so. And also, can we just get the cats out of the bag? I do not have a mic and I do not have headphones, but rest assured, I am just going to bite the bullet and buy all the products necessary to continue outside of my home.
Well, and I like that your Airbnb seems to be very much on a freeway. So,
Is it really loud?
It's not right now, but like that can kind of like be our soundboard. Like, some horns, which I feel like East Coast vibes is like not honking and like letting.
Oh,
I was gonna say letting the sheeps cross the road.
Honestly, it is. We are sheep. Like if you jaywalk, like I love a Jay Baruchel. I love to just jaywalk my way across the street. Canadian icon, legend, pedestrian focused. But, so whenever I Jay Baruchel, the cars stop. And they're like, oh my God, of course, please. Or as this big truck goes by, if I'm walking my dogs and going across the street and I'm just like waiting to illegally cross, cars on both lanes will stop and go like, please, ma'am, please.
I mean, that is a woman in control of her destiny.
Gagatondra.
I was really worried that I would be going bald, so I did look up
like alopecia.
Yes. Thank you for knowing that. Thank you for holding me in that way. And Kim Kardashian suffered from it.
Suffered indeed. Not to mention her psoriasis.
I have that too on my elbow. So.
Okay.
Kim, send me some body makeup, please. I'm excited and waiting for it.
You remember that episode of The Kardashians when Kim finds out she has psoriasis and finds out it's genetic? So she's like mad at Chris.
Why did you give me this? And Chris is like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Did you follow? There's so much to discuss this week. The Courtney Travis engagement of it all.
Yes.
Love. Can I tell you?
Okay.
I'm over it. I don't like them. I don't like Megan Fox. I don't like Machine Gun Kelly. I felt like as a woman in my own life, I've kissed before, and Courtney makes me feel like I've never kissed anyone. Like they just are gross. I'm over it.
Okay. This is so funny because, and now I'm realizing that I fully wanted them at my table, but like then I kind of forgot. But I have been watching the Wendy Williams show this week with
Michelle Visage, Leah Remini,
guest co-host Michelle Visage and Leah Remini doing literally like an authentic version of remember that morning show thing with Amy Poehler where they're like, oh my God, a sweater. Like that's actually them.
Yes.
And it is so compelling and like
they're best friends. They need the show. Just give them a show. I want it.
It's so good. But they were talking about like PDA. Because it's all of the pictures of Machine Gun Kelly, whatever. Yeah. And I'm wondering if like because it's not my thing, but then I was kind of flashing back to like, like a first date.
Sure.
And, like, then you just start making out and then you're almost just like, fuck me on the street. Like, you're just like making out against a building and you're just like,
yes, but first of all, that's an amazing sex sound. Secondly, that is first date 3 months. Like, what are they doing? I don't think they have sex. I think they have bad sex. I think it's weird sex, and I'm not buying it.
What I think it might be is like is more of a kink than anything. Like it's like, you know, you're like out to dinner at a Moxie's and you're giving like a secret hand job.
Okay, that is more thrilling than Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox. I'm sorry, I will die on this hill because like this, like doing that, like no one does that. No one likes that. I've done that a bunch for comedy sketches where you're like, and it's like not, my tongue isn't like, ooh.
As soon as you're back from Toronto, I'm gonna start to greet you like just like that. I'm just gonna like stick out my tongue to welcome you.
Because here's the thing, it's like, call me negative, but like we all know on social media where couples are like, my babe of babes, my babeliest of babies. And it's like, you guys hate each other. Like those are the couples that are like, and I know because I've posted them and then we broke up soon after those posts.
Yeah. Mine was always like when the post looks like I mean, in my case, like an alternative Sears catalog, like it's like, or like like the TD, like now that TD has gay couples, where it's just like so, like it's like a plush chair and just like so wholesome, just like.
Oh yeah, first
like
of all, those
gay.
commercials. Yeah, exactly. Those commercials are insane. Where they're like, morning gay, morning other gay. Can't wait to open up our gay bank account, gay.
And then they're like, TD, you can be gay now. Yeah.
If you can prove that you're queer, you get 3 pints off your choice of creamed, checked, or drowned butter.
The Travis and the Courtney, I love to see her happy, but I don't care about this couple in any capacity, and I don't.
Can I tell you something?
A lot.
Can I tell you something? I don't know why it just came to me, but like, you know, I've been on a fitness journey. We were talking about like going back on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Ew, why is the TDSB calling me? Very much 30, flirty, and thriving. I'm not in high school. Bless.
That was the rudest response I have ever seen. And you making direct eye contact with your webcam while you did it was next level. You need to apologize to that woman. But also, who calls to go, is this number correct? There was a message left.
What I do not understand is like, what love to this woman in education, but like this.
Are the steroids acting out? I can't touch.
For anyone who is listening, I choked on my on my non-existent gag reflex, and then had to bop on over to my vape stick.
To brag too.
I choked on my over-salivating mouth. Stacey's sandpaper remains okay. Yeah, that's why you hate PDA, because your tongue is just like a cat's tongue.
I love giving blowjobs, but my mouth is so dry.
AKA poo-poo.
No, but like love and light to this education administrator.
Well, I'm also going to say this. The audacity that you would just say you are 30, flirty, and thriving is a lie. You were once, but not now. 30, flirty, and thriving.
I'm fucking 32, poo, and...
I'm 32, poo.
AKA poo-poo.
Okay, your last thought on Machine Gun Kelly.
Okay, first of all, I don't care about Machine Gun Kelly or Megan Fox. I think we're all over it. Their Instagram captions are fully cringe, where it's like, I want to suck your blood. I want to eat your brains. And it's like, shut up. But I thought Courtney's ring would be bigger. It said it's worth $1 million.
The fact that like there were magazines being like, do I have something in my teeth?
Oh my God, yes, you do. The other tooth. The audacity of us judging these rich people, and you have food in your teeth. And I've got 2 major outlets here.
What's equally frustrating is that there's a little thing on my screen that presents as a different thing in my teeth. And I'm like, okay.
We are a mess.
Okay. What were you saying about Machine Gun Kelly?
I'll kill you if you bring him up again. No, here's my question that I'm wondering, and I'm wondering if our listeners comment below or send us a little message.
Yeah.
So they're saying that her ring is $1 million. Who bought that? Travis Barker?
Okay. I think he's like, he weirdly still does stuff.
No,
and I think he produces too.
I think he's a producer, but like, yeah.
I mean, he may have taken out a lot of credit. But no, I feel like he's really successful and sober, so he's probably good with his money.
I didn't know he was sober.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't know that she wasn't married before. For some reason, I was surprised by that information. But
I know.
But Scott, screw you, and Courtney, continue on. I know you've been talking about your fitness journey. You're less interested in mine.
That is correct. Yeah, so I am very much on a fitness journey. Just me, only me. Highlight my screen, please.
No, but I do want to just bring this up, and I don't know if you want to talk about this, but like, so I've been on a fitness journey, but it really just includes me going to the YMCA, where there's a lot of like buff teens with like their girlfriends working out with them.
Right.
And yours includes using Bitcoin to buy steroids and getting your money stolen. Do you want to talk about it?
Sure.
So yes, as everyone knows, I am on a wellness program of clenbuterol, which is a horse inhaler.
Can you even talk about this? Like, could you go to jail?
No. So I got a new one because I did like the 2 weeks on, then I did 2 weeks off. So now I'm going to do 2 weeks on again.
And what's going on at the F45? Like, are our boys there? Are they still good? Like,
our boys are good. Reed came up to me 2 different times and was like,
I just want you to know that like, I've noticed you're really improving, and yeah, really great work.
I think he said,
your movements in general just seem like so much less.
And I went,
labored.
And he went,
yeah, that's a good word.
And are you noticing a difference? Like, are you getting like definition? Like, what's going on?
Well, I told you I was really happy because there was like a candid photo where I turned to the side and you could see my jawline. And I was like, oh, hello. And I'll be honest, when I was working at this shelter, I like showed up in like my workout shorts and like we're supposed to wear scrubs. And I was like, I'll just put on the scrub top and like give everyone a show. So I was getting like, it was like, oh, like it was just like
Legs.
And just like, oh my God, like you look so good today. And I'm like, thanks. Like,
Nurse. Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm excited for this feedback. You've been working really hard at it. And I'm glad your Bitcoins are going to some good, healthy measures.
Yes, I did have to. It is very much the swirling numbers because like Bitcoin is its own currency and then the Bit Wallet app is in US dollars, but the thing I'm paying for is in Canadian, and you have to put the Canadian money into the Bitcoin ATM thing and then like scan a barcode. And then like I went and it just ate my $20. So I had to like call the Bitcoin ATM. The guy I was like, what kind of dark, like, I'm like, I just imagine some guy answering on a burner phone, like standing over a dead body being like, what?
Yes, that's how I imagine it as well.
Yeah. Very Walter White. And like, and then I was just like, it ate my money. And he was like, I'll look into it. And he was like, oh yeah, sorry, it's an issue. Like it'll be sorted in an hour. He was very great. He resolved it immediately.
Oh, damn. Yeah. I wouldn't imagine that with Bitcoin. It just seems so spooky to me still.
I did very much feel like, oh, that's just gone now.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm glad that it's back. I am not getting similar feedback. Now, is it because I am still eating? Probably. And the silence says so much. Okay. Okay, so I went first last week. Why don't you go first this week?
Great.
I have been warned.
Stacey was warned, and I had to tell her Because first at my table is the legendary and controversial and currently embroiled in a bit of a stinky poop, which is Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle. Is that
now?
I was shocked. Yes.
You were shocked. Did you watch the special?
I haven't watched the special. I haven't watched the full special. So I'm just going off of the feedback, some of the clips I've seen. Now, of course, a special, watching clips out of order. Maybe you're missing the tone.
Yes. So I have watched the full special, making me the expert.
Listen, I actually think Dave Chappelle at your table is an interesting choice because you would kind of want to hear his perspective because
yes, that's the thing. So that's the thing that I'm like, okay, of course not like a whole bunch of people feel a whole bunch of different things about Dave Chappelle's special.
Yes.
And sometimes it's like the most extreme voices are the ones we see. So then we get kind of like, ugh, why does everyone want to cancel him?
Right.
Like, I know I was very interested when people have been like actually none of the employees or anyone have said that they want the special taken down. So when people have said like,
but there was a big walkout.
There was the walkout, but the walkout, like their demands do not. One of the demands is not like take down the special.
Okay, what is one of the demands?
One of the I mean, the demands are kind of like more like uplifting queer and trans voices, more content. I think kind of like, I don't know if it was like having maybe more of a process of conversation with creators on about some of these things, like instead of just kind of being like you have full creative control, like kind of like, okay, so like maybe have some notes or at least like a conversation that maybe some of the trans employees or something can join in on. So I thought that was interesting because it's like they're not asking for the special to be pulled, which I was like, great, because I don't think it should be.
You don't think that it was out of line?
Here's the thing. I think the hard thing is that I don't know which jokes. So I can only speak about all of the gay jokes I thought were great.
Yeah.
I thought they were really funny. I will say I thought they seemed a little bit more nuanced than some of the trans jokes. Yes. But like the whole thing about like gays always looking surprised in the 90s or something, of like, I don't know, that really got me. Right. It was kind of like, it seemed like from an ally kind of thing. So do I think that like, I do think sometimes people just jump in and pile on without watching a whole a whole thing. And it's like, and in some ways what you're doing is like the overall message is not transphobic. Like the overall message is like pro trans people. However, that doesn't mean you don't say there aren't jokes that people can say are transphobic. So then you're like, okay, so the nuts and bolts to me seem like fine and like on our side. And then you're like, okay, but this specific thing we don't like. So that's where to me it seems like more of a conversation, less of a like this person's bad or whatever. And I do think he brings up some really interesting points about like being a black man in Hollywood who like has done a lot of like fighting, and then to have like to be kind of like turned on and having people like try to like take away your work or your whatever, like is like an intense thing. And that does become some of the vitriol on social media of like Dave Chappelle is transphobic. Dave Chappelle is this, where you're like, okay, like Dave Chappelle has always been a comic who like really like walks the line. And if some of those things went over the line for you, that's totally fair. And like, yes, I thought some of them, I thought some of the jokes I was kind of like, but I wasn't, I don't know. I don't know if they didn't hit as much as like, there is kind of still this like this fear of like, okay, we're entering a territory where like you are not an expert and
I think that's what it is, because I feel like I think Dave Chappelle openly is like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to talk about whatever I want. And I think it's such a hot button issue. And I think he like gets off on it in some regard to be like, I don't care. I'm going to like have these conversations. My thing is like every special seems to navigate towards his like, I wouldn't say obsession, but it's like this unrelenting attention he gives to like queer culture, the LGBTQ plus community. Like, it's like you have a whole life. You've got a family and you've got a community you live in small town Ohio. You've got friends, you have experiences, but you're like always kind of giving a majority of your set, not a majority, but like a big chunk of it to like pointing out like queer, like culture, trans, like points of view. And it's like, that's the thing where I'm like,
you're like, what's that about?
Like, what is that about? Because it's like,
I know,
is that running in your head all the time?
Yeah. Where you're kind of, I know. And but that's like, that's part of what can make him exciting is you're like, oh, this would be a lot easier if you just kind of didn't talk about this community at all. However,
are you?
But it's like for whatever, like, I don't know where this all started, but it seems to be that like now it's like, in a way, we're almost expecting it. Like, it's like, this is his chance. This is his time for rebuttal. Like he creates something, there's a response. And then when he creates something new, it's like, this is the rebuttal. Like, it's like, he's going to talk about because the like LGBT community has like been critical of him, he'll probably talk about it.
My thing that just makes my ears perk up is like, it's now been three or four specials where it's like, he's bringing it up. It's like, what's up, man?
Well, and I think part of it, which he kind of touches on, is like, for him being a Black man, being a part of a marginalized community, like it's like there can be both, I don't know if it's like a kinship or more like he's like, oh, you observe this other group and you're like, oh, some of these things are different. I know at least like one of his jokes is kind of like, like that, how gays have like gotten ahead so much quicker. And I think he kind of says like, because a bunch of you are white. And a lot of it is sophisticated and funny and like sharp. So, and I think some of the stuff that he says is really relevant about like people being too precious. And it's really hard to tell someone else that, but it's like, I just know for me, like, I want to be able to laugh about like being gay or the things about my community that are funny. Like,
I just think it's a fine line. And it's like, I don't think comedians are role models or people that are guiding. They're supposed to sort of have a satirical look on things, but that doesn't mean like if you're putting vitriol in the world that it should be supported. But it's like, I think I'll be curious what the discourse is with Dave Chappelle after this.
Yeah.
I also feel like this might be like a whole step away, but I think it's a part of maybe a bigger conversation. But when you become so fucking rich and so successful, do you lose as a comedian? Do you lose connection? And so thus you start so then you start talking about
Tish.
the Tish of it all. But then it's like, I think Dave Chappelle has really interesting things to say sometimes.
Yes.
Like his specials, they're not all hits for me, but he does. But like, is he just so detached because of his success that like he's gravitating towards these topics that like he has truly no business in navigating?
Right. Like it's more relatable to talk about social issues than if he's like, hey, like, when your gardener is always late or something, and everyone's like, what?
And it's like Chelsea Handler coming out in like a jumpsuit and a ponytail going, I'm just like you, even though she's like a trillionaire, or talking about like finding love. You're like, okay.
I'm going to need you to tread carefully.
Why? Because
Chelsea Handler is at my ultimate table.
First of all, I love Chelsea Handler too. Like, I'm just saying that like Amy Schumer, so I don't know. Do you see this Instagram video of Chelsea Handler, Amy Schumer? Like they were all in these like mechanic jumpsuits. And I was like, okay, so we can't wear jeans because they're expensive jeans. Like, I mean, I want the jumpsuit. I'm not saying that, but it's just this like obsession with being like, we love Amy Schumer for being relatable. And it's like, now that she's so rich and successful.
Right. Like, it's like, but how would we be able to listen to her if she came out in like YSL?
I've completely switched the topic, but I'm just saying like,
and I hope to be that person. I hope to be the person that comes out in full Gucci and then makes you laugh talking about my hole.
Hi, gay.
Personally, I'm like, Chappelle, pump the brakes. Like, you can talk about anything else, and you can, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He's just kind of going in where it's like unnecessary. And it's like, if you're going to be satirical and have a point of view of like an overall message, sure. But you're kind of missing the mark a little bit.
But it is provocative. It gets the people going.
I mean, yeah. But it's like, anyways, on Instagram, I've been seeing a lot of like the queer community on my feed sort of responding. Yeah. And it's like, everyone's like, just fucking chill, stop. And I absolutely agree. Stop. Talk about your kids. Talk about your life. Talk about...
Yeah. I can certainly see, obviously, anyone's ears perk up when they're mentioned. Like when your group or your anything is mentioned, you're like, oh, what is it? And
I think what he's talking about is interest. I mean, again, I haven't seen the full thing, but it's like to talk about like the people that are angry with me are mostly white people too. So then it's like, now we're talking about systemic racism, and it's like all a very layered, very like murky situation. So it's like someone's going to be offended. I think he doesn't care about that nor the outcome. And that's why I think he's steadfast in who he is.
Yeah.
I think it would be I think when he does have discourse, like he said, when people are ready to like listen and love, which like bit of shade there, when people calm down, but he's like ready to have a conversation, I'll be excited to hear what that is.
And that's why I think we would start with the table, with him at our table.
Can you imagine? He's like, the table is where we will begin this discourse.
With my second guest, Adele.
I'm so excited.
Can we talk about Adele thriving? Okay, honest. We love Adele, but honest thoughts on Easy on Me.
Love.
Me too. However, it's getting criticism that it's like not quite the banger like Hello was, which is fair.
Freeway sounds from you in the back. I don't know. It's like, look, as someone who like was with Adele like before the first album even came out.
Don't be this. So many gay men on my feed going like, here I was in this little tiny show. I knew Adele before Adele. It's like, okay, what medal do you want? We're all at the same place now.
Yes.
Don't talk about getting to the restaurant first. We're over it. We're all at the restaurant now. Let it go and order your appetizer.
I think like it's like I don't know. Like, it's like, look, this is the kinship between gay men and straight women. And sometimes we need to remind you that we have given you things.
Okay,
We were like,
Adele.
trust me, bitch, listen to The Fame by Lady Gaga. And then you were probably like, isn't she a man? Not you, but like, I'm saying like,
no, my sister.
And then we were like, shut up. Trust.
Lady Gaga at the Mod Club, and she was drunk and she fell off the stage. And it was just a little bit of a stage, and she had a bigger fall than the stage. No, I agree, but like,
so again, as someone who's been there from the very beginning, okay. I'm like, yeah, like this is Adele. Like this is Adele's vibe. Like
Adele is everything of the sort. Like, first of all, as she said, this album is about divorce, babes. And to that, I say thank you. The lyrics made me weep. They were beautiful.
I thought it was really beautiful, and especially being 32 and POO.
I'm 35, barely alive.
Help me, I'm poor.
I love the lyrics. I love the idea of
just like you. I was a kid. Like, I mean, like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, yes, 1,000 times yes.
Like it's like we're now adults, and it's like, but also like I'm still a mess. So like, go easy on me.
It's beautiful. The first of all, I mean, we're beyond that.
The
music video where we got a scene. Can we? If I had the soundboard, it'd be like, a
and
scene.
She'd be like, I can't hear you, babes.
Babes, I got the groceries, babes. I'll be having 2 hours, babes.
It's reception shit, man.
Yeah. Then she gets in her car, and when she's sitting in the room and the music papers are playing, and then it goes to red or it goes to color.
I don't know why. In my mind, I was like, for me, it's when it's like this, and then the mirror is the fucking eye, and she, like just like her fucking eyes, and you're just like,
She's a queen, and when she was currently courtside for the Lakers in the brown
Louis Vuitton,
the Louis cape, I want her body. Like that is goals for me. It's on the vision board. Like wig on a wig on a wig. Her extensions are everything.
She looks amazing.
Did you watch her Vogue 73 questions?
You mean her Vogue 90?
Whatever, yeah.
5 questions. 95 questions. Yes, I did.
Her house is stunning. She's in sweatsuits. She's wearing little ankle socks because she took her shoes off in her home. Obsessed.
It's so good.
I love her. She's a good time girl.
She's a good time girl.
Like the wine will be flowing, the stories will be told. I feel like she's so down to earth. I feel like she doesn't take herself too seriously. I think I think you and I would thrive. We would have to bring our best foot forward.
Yes. Yeah, we would have I would need like a full night of sleep, like take off. Like it's like I need to be in full form. We would need
to bring the look. But also, I think the look doesn't need to be as high end as we think.
No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Oh God, I love Adele so much. I just think she's like a rare talent in that she's just she shows up for a long time and then like just disappears. You know,
lives her fucking life and then like comes back being like, "Here, gays."
Rise and shine.
Okay, who else is at your table?
So. Then I had a toss-up in my mind. I think it would be like...
I'm already upset. Okay,
I know you are. I think it would be like the nihilistic, like Gen Z chick from Squid Game.
Okay, first of all, you don't need... Okay, can I just say... I think your table is sufficient enough with like Adele and like Dave Chappelle. I think you would need one more heavy hitter, but like that conversation is going to be layered. Like I think there's going to be like truthful conversation.
Okay, fine. My like more Stacey friendly one is Zendaya.
I mean, okay.
Are you kidding? Then we literally have like like a generation, like
I would have brought in Rihanna.
yeah, but like Zendaya, we have young.
No, but we don't want young. Adele is an old soul. Dave Chappelle is an old man. You and I, like, we are old. Then we have Zendaya, who is like on the rise and is great. But in the context of this table, we need like a heavy hitter, a substantial. Rihanna.
Obviously, Rihanna would be amazing at every table. But
Beyonce.
I said what I said.
Beyonce.
Oh my God.
That's karma.
This is a case for the FBI.
We can't have Gen Z energy. We're unpacking a really like layered thing with Dave Chappelle. Adele's there.
Oh my God. That's exactly why we need nihilistic Gen Z energy.
No, Zendaya. I mean, I like her, but
I said what I said. I also just imagined us at dinner with the rotating doll from Squid Game, and that maybe,
okay, go ahead.
and that maybe our table there is also an element where people will be murdered based on like some kind of.
I want to say this. I just finished Squid Game last night.
I'm still a couple episodes away, but yes,
I want it at the kids' table. Because the last episode, I was all for it. Up till the last episode, kids' table.
Okay.
So I need you to finish it so we can properly unpack it.
Okay.
Because that last episode was a stink fest.
That is my table. Who is at yours?
Oh God, we'll have to make this quick. We really had to unpack your table this week. So I had to think really long and hard because I have just been consuming so much reality TV that I was like, you know, I know my last couple of tables, like basically was like Salt Lake City, you know, and Below Deck I'm into. And I've been watching Squid Game. And I was like, do I bring some people from Squid Game? But then I watched the last episode and the show didn't end well for me. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So I say this to say, I am going to you're going to roll your eyes, but I was going to put Chelsea Handler on only because.
Amazing. Why would I ever roll my eyes?
Because we've already talked about her before, so I feel like I'm double dipping. However, I've been really getting into her podcast, which I really, really enjoy, called Dear Chelsea, where like people send in their like they need advice, and she gives some pretty substantial advice. What are you laughing at?
When she was launching that podcast, I decided to maybe like make a play for The Assistant.
You applied?
No. Like she does it with her gay assistant, the podcast.
Oh, yes.
No, like I like slid into the DMs with a like, congrats on the pod, like can't wait to hear. And he responded just a very like, thank you so much. And then I did like the follow and like some likes, and then it was dead. It was dead.
Well, at least you got the first DM of like, you're hot. Like,
he just said thank you.
Yeah, but do you think he responds to everybody, or do you think he was like, oh, he's hot and I'm going to respond to this?
I mean, I think also maybe I got in there really quick.
Okay.
Yeah. Always first to the gangbang.
Hi, Dave.
Yeah, you're 15 minutes early to the gangbang.
Yeah.
I'm like 45 minutes too late. I'm like, no one wants to kiss. But Chelsea Handler, I have like, first of all, she's really set the tone. Like everyone wants the late night show or whatever. But I kind of love how like she's like in her 40s and she is just like fucking thriving.
Yeah.
Like she's really made the turnaround, and she doesn't give a shit.
No.
Like, and she's like with Joe Coy and like madly in love. And she's like, just talking about like what he does for her and how he talks to her. And like, I just think we don't hear, I'm trying to look up hold on. I just am like, I'm really like lamely taken by it.
Where she talks about like him like liking her cellulite and stuff like that, and you're just like, yes, bitch.
Yeah, like he's into it, and it's really nice to see someone in like their later time, because you sort of feel like, I don't know if you feel like this, but like I'm 35. It's like I don't have a house, I don't have kids. Like and I don't have the things that other friends have, and you feel like you're oddly behind or something. But then you see her thriving and like finding new areas of her life to explore as she gets older. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like I would love to just sit down and not be like, change my life. But I think the conversation would be awesome. I think the perspective would be good. Is that lame to put her there? But
not at all.
But it's also funny when a rich person has a podcast and they have like 3 producers they talk at, and they're like, Sharon, when is it? And I'm like,
and the assistant who's like bringing them water, and
that I honestly could do without. And this is why the second person at my table is Danny Pellegrino this week. And I have to bring up why I feel like he is killing it with his interviews. He interviewed Kyle the Splits Richards.
Kyle the Splits Richards, who was also going to be at my table, but I forgot. Yeah,
I wish. I'm loving Kyle, but also he called Erica Jane
Bamboozle
Jane in front of Kyle Richards, and she did not even move an inch. She just answered the questions and kept it moving. He was talking about it this week.
Yes.
But Danny Pellegrino, I think, is on the rise in a way we are not prepared for. He was just on the Drew Barrymore show. Like, he is on the rise.
I know. He, like, God, it's like,
what?
I'm in love with him.
Yes, Danny, and he's so hot. And
like you just like listen to him, and it's like, and him just like making himself giggle, like in a room by himself. And he's just like, and he's just bouncing around from different ideas, and he like really takes you there. I was like quoting him recently because someone, friend of mine was touring like wedding venues, and they had like a bunch of like cursive word art.
Yeah.
And all I could think of was like Danny Pellegrino was talking about like how like he was like he's like everyone, like when you go to HomeSense and you're pulling up to the cash, like you need to look at your cart. And if there's a bunch of word art, like you have to take it out.
His whole rant recently about the word art, really, I was like dying laughing.
Yeah. He's like, you can maybe have one, but
he had to take him down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also love that he is like a one-man band. Like it's him and he edits it. And I was so happy when he got that advertising gig with HomeSense. I mean, HomeSense, hi, welcome to the table. Like sponsor.
Is he?
Home Goods. Or Home Goods. Yes, they're sponsoring him.
Oh,
I just think it's so nice. But
yes,
I think he's on the rise. Apparently, like, I mean, he gets millions of listens and he is doing it from his home. And I just feel like, I don't know, I find that inspiring. I mean, who wouldn't want that life?
I agree. I agree.
We're doing it here. But I also feel like Danny Pellegrino can talk to truly anybody. Like his interview with Luann de Lesseps is insane. And he just talked to Ariana from Vanderpump Rules, and it was whatever. But what can you do? But him and Chelsea, I think, would be really, really good together. Like that would be a fun dinner.
Yeah, I feel like he's one of those people that like when good things happen, like to him for him, like I'm so like I'm just like when I knew he was gonna interview Rosie O'Donnell, and it's like you really like have this bond with someone because you're listening to them in your earphones or like in the car. Yes. And you're just like, oh my God, he loves Rosie O'Donnell. Like this is gonna mean so much to him. And then he's like, he cries while he's talking to her, and I'm like, oh, this means so much to Danny.
First of all, he talked about how he has an original Beethoven plushie from '92 in his office.
Yes.
Danny, we come to our table. Like, I also think it would be effortless. We would listen, we would let him lead. But I feel like,
oh yeah.
But I think it would be nice to see Chelsea Handler and Danny Pellegrino, like her just sort of test the boundaries, him maybe get a little sassy.
Yes.
I also think there would be good food at that table. I think we're not going to Gwyneth Paltrow get wet lettuce, but
yeah. When he was talking about falling and his headphones ripping out and Adele playing as he like fell down the street, and then also being like, I dislocated my shoulder, but like do not go into my DMs, and like I do not need a diagnosis through DMs, because he would just get all of these people being like, it's probably this.
He was talking about it today, where he was just still talking about, well, today as if it just launched. I was listening to his podcast today about how his shoulder is still sore. He's like, I can't even move. I can't even like move my shoulder. I can't even do it. I love his voice. It's so good.
I know, right? What the fuck is that? Oh my God.
I love like when we haven't gotten a what the fuck, he'll just give it to us like right near the end. Like,
Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah.
You do it really good, Pellegrino.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's not even that interesting. It's Andy Cohen. Well, it's interesting, but it's Andy Cohen. Bear with me. Because I just watched The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Reunion 2, and the way he went at Bamboozle Jane was truly, that was
the way he goes.
You don't know what I deal with every night.
Yes, Andrew Cohen, always and forever. Obviously, I'm triggered because I do still feel like I've aged out of the pool.
Well, this is the opportunity for you to like not wear some merch shirt that you got at the bottom of like a gift bag, and you can show up correct now that you're like, you know, on the roids. And you can,
not the rise, but the roids. First of all, clenbuterol is not a steroid, but it is also not legal.
But like you can come correct. I also am thinking about, unlike you, dinner party energy vibes. I feel like Chelsea Handler.
Unlike me.
Zendaya for the win at the end?
Yes.
Should have said.
Oh my God. No, that's it. Those like they're like young celebrities are always at things that they're too young for.
I know, but I don't want to navigate that. I don't want Zendaya to talk about her accountant. I can't handle that.
I mean, then they'll all probably talk about their accountants.
But I only want to hear about, I want Chelsea Handler to teach me about my money. I don't want Zendaya with new money.
Yeah.
We're old. She's going to be like, when can I leave? She's going to be chatting on an app we've never heard of. We think Raya is the epitome. She's on something else. And I love Zendaya. What, you think she's going to want to see me in a high-waisted pant? Because I'm inspired by Succession fashions? No.
I mean, definitely like the way where like Zendaya would show up in a look that we would be like, I'll just go home.
Do you watch the show The Other Two?
Yes. I haven't watched season 2 yet because I can't find it anywhere.
Okay, I'll give it to you. But first of all,
you kind of look like her.
That's Molly Shannon or the pretty.
No, the sister.
Oh, that's actually the sweetest thing you've ever said to me. I love her so much. And like her fashion is incredible. She just married this very hot man. And I was like very invested in their honeymoon. Anyways, thank you for that. But there was a joke in the season where like their younger brother has a fashion line. And so he's on Molly Shannon's talk show. And she's like, so Chase, like, tell us about your fashion line. He's like, well, it's like really cool. It could go from like day to night. I'm like butchering the joke, but she's like, can regular people wear this? He's like, no, like you'll look dumb, but like with celebrities, like you'll look cool. Like you could go to a wedding if you're a celebrity, or you could go to lunch with this if you're a celebrity. She's like, can you wear it if you're normal? He's like, no. And I feel like Zendaya is going to show up to dinner and I'm going to be like, where did you buy that?
Like, it's like when I tried to wear something oversized and it just made me look like I was actually 800 pounds.
Exactly. Or like when you were at like Fashion Week, people were wearing like sex leather, like daddy harnesses. It's like, imagine I wore that over a blouse. Where am I going?
I don't think.
Oh my God. Imagining you in a harness is just like, oh, we need to make it happen. We need to make it happen.
When I'm back in the city, we have to do like the table field trips where like
you try on harnesses.
Happily.
Yeah.
I think my boobs are too big for a harness. And I just...
They go to here.
Yeah, but listen, it's like when you have like big titties and like you go to sleep in a tank top and you wake up and the tank top is in between them and they're just flopping around. Like that's my fear in the harness.
And look, not to minimize your experience, but like do keep in mind that like harnesses are to accentuate guys with roid titties, with like big beefy roid titties.
But beefy roid titties and 35-year-olds push up so the nipples look up titties is different titties.
And I realize that and I hold space for those. I
feel like we're at the end. We've already this episode. I can't believe we're navigating the intricacies of Dave Chappelle while I don't have a mic nor headphones. And I think the audacity of that speaks highly about this podcast.
And really quick, I just have to say, at my kids' table is the entire cast of Vanderpump Rules. This season is deadly.
Oh God! And also, get out of here, every single one of you from Vanderpump Rules.
Stop doing bits.
Stop. If I see a Sandoval or a Schwartz dropping something fake off at Lisa Vanderpump's house again, and I'll leave you with this: if you're upset about Vanderpump Rules and you've jumped ship, I would highly recommend Winter House. It's oddly satisfying.
Has it started already?
The first episode dropped. You can watch it free on YouTube, as if I worked with them.
First of all, I already have Hey You, but I will watch because I'm like, I'm ready. I don't know any of the people, but I'm down. Well,
Summer House is an odd rolling hit where, like, when I have nothing else to watch, I started watching Summer House and I never stopped. And now I'm fully invested and Winter House is really good.
Great.
I think that's I think we all just need to stop watching Vanderpump. Let them go. Let Brittany go. Or I guess Brittany's not even on it. Let Sheena, let Ariana. Yeah. Bye. Bye, gay.
Bye, gay.
Okay. Well, that's the episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, check it out. We're trying to get to 1,000 so we can get monetized.
And remember, it's free for you and supports us. So
that actually is true. If you like this podcast, tell a friend. Let's spread the word, shall we? And who would be at your table this week? Let us know.
Oh my God, you have to.
I want to know. Right. My dogs are now ready for me to let them poo out their butts. And with that, I bid you adieu. Bye, everyone.
Bye.